And welcome back, everybody, to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, because we believe that we are the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co host, Isaac.
I'm 40.
And I'm Noel, allegedly.
Yeah, we got
Going,
Noam back on the
going off
show,
camera
guys.
for a second, guys. Sorry.
No problem. If anybody is wondering, hold on, real quick before we do anything else. I have to pause because let's go, baby, let's go. Verdugo hit a double home run, 2-run home run. Let's go. Okay, sorry.
Hey,
Who's Verdugo?
You guys look amazing right now. To
Listen,
start the season, you look good.
It's extras. Listen, Noam, you haven't been on the show for this time, but we've reached that part of the year where episodes of the show will frequently be interrupted by me, Calvin, and sometimes Kylie reacting to live baseball events. So just be warned. You have been warned. But welcome to episode 108, everybody. Welcome to episode 108. We got an exciting episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about March Madness, the Final Four being set, and how the women's bracket's actually been a little more exciting than the men's bracket, if we're being honest. We're going to be talking about the huge trade in the NFL with Stefon Diggs. Hopefully my dog will not be bugging me the whole time. He doesn't like it when I do the podcast. He's shoved his nose right up into my arm and he's like, "You are not going to do this. You are going to pet me the whole time." He always does this. It's weird. Go away. And we're also going to be talking about week 1 of the MLB season and some of the teams that have come out real hot, particularly one in New York. Go Yankees, go Yankees. But we're going to start as always with the no. Go bother someone else. No, we're doing podcasts right now.
Close your door, man.
I'm doing this in the living room because it has the best light, so that's the issue. I can't do it.
Close the living room door. You don't have that.
I do not have that, and he's like trying to play bite. So anyway, let's start with our newest segment. It's called "What's on Your Mind," where we ask all of our co-hosts, "Give us something on your mind. Anything. Doesn't even have to be sports related." So I think we'll start with you, Noam, because you've been absent for the last couple of episodes. What's on your mind?
Sleep is an underrated part of human life. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to say free agency's been crazy recently. And I mean, y'all already know what's on my mind because we just talked about it earlier, or at least it was mentioned earlier in the group chat. But I'll hold off on that because we're definitely going to cover that.
Yeah.
But what's on my mind? I think Baltimore Ravens could use a little bit more excitement in their offseason. That's something on my mind.
I'd agree with that. What exactly have they done this offseason other than Derrick Henry?
Not much else. I mean, about a BK extension, huge. Let about 20 other players go. Not necessarily great. Haven't necessarily replaced those players. Stuff like that.
I will say I do feel like we definitely can see who the big winners and losers for free agency this year have been. As we have our first comment coming in from Kylie. What's going on, Kylie? Glad to see you. Congrats on the new job, by the way, Kylie. I know we said that a couple episodes ago, but I'm pretty sure you're starting the new job now. So congrats in earnest, Kylie. Yeah. I don't know. I was curious. No, so you didn't get a chance to talk about some of the free agency things that happened from last week's episode. One of those was Justin Fields to the Steelers, and I was curious what you thought about that.
I told you so. I don't know. Like I said that in my opinion, Washington should have just flipped a low round pick for Fields because why not get a potential start? Like your quarterback is uncertain now, to say the least. Fields isn't necessarily worse than what you have on your team right now by any stretch. In fact, the ceiling's a lot higher. So why don't you go and do that? Just then the Steelers, who don't even need that, decide they're going to flip an extremely low round pick because there is no market for Justin Fields and just snag him. And there you go. The Steelers got him. He's not going to start over Russell Wilson, but if Russell Wilson's is just horrible, I guess, and maybe Fields shows up. I don't know. It doesn't do much for me, but
Kylie said, yes, very exhausted. Fields is still uncertain. Yoni's chiming in. Yeah, obviously.
Uncertain about what?
Yeah, you want to elaborate on that? Kylie also says Mariota's wearing 0. I don't love that. I think that number should be off limits. That doesn't seem right. That number being in the NFL.
It's horrible.
Why not?
Me. 40. What's on your mind? Let's move to you.
What's on my mind is I just found out that the Lakers are playing in DC tonight, and I'm not goddamn going.
Ooh.
I mean, to be fair, when was the last time we talked about the NBA in earnest on this show? We have we don't really talk about the NBA. But that being said, like, why aren't you going?
Because I just found out the Lakers would be in DC tonight. I was literally just on Twitter, and I'm reading this thing that said Desmond Bain played 40 minutes against the Lakers last week. Hasn't played since. Kyle Kuzma has been sat out for 3 games, and miraculously his foot is healed tonight to play against the Lakers. So I looked it up, and I'm like, no way they play here tonight. And they play here.
Yeah. I'll say this. We haven't been paying attention to the NBA, but their playoffs are coming up very soon. Honestly, I think the reason I haven't been paying attention that much is the fact that, I don't know, man. It's college basketball has just been so much. It's March, man. It's hard to pay attention. I'll pay attention once the playoffs start. I am looking at the standings right now. Good to see that the Pistons actually won more than 2 games, so at least something good seems to have happened.
Have they won 3?
They won 13 actually.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Yoni says Fields' his career back up, in my opinion. So NBA 2 weeks away from regular season ending. Talk about it for a minute, Matt. All right, we will talk about the NBA. Last time I checked the standings, the Celtics have already locked up everything. In the East. In the West, the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Thunder are in a 3-way duel for the top seed, which just feels 2 of those teams being in there feel weird. I'm not surprised to see the Nuggets up there, but really, Timberwolves and Thunder are still hanging in there. I thought they would have fallen off a bit by now. And for the look at the standings, it looks like no one else in the East has clinched. The standings right now, as they sit, the Celtics have clinched the number 1 seed. They are just leagues above everyone else. The Bucks currently hold the 2 seed, followed by the Cavs at the 3 seed, the Magic in the 4th seed, the Knicks in the 5th seed, and the Pacers in the 6th seed. Currently in the playoff tournament, the Heat, 76ers, Bulls, and Hawks are all sitting in the play-in tournament. And the teams sitting out are the Nets, Raptors, Hornets, Wizards, and Pistons. With those bottom 3 pretty much all being eliminated. I think the Hornets did fire their coach today. In the West, the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Thunder have all clinched playoff berths and are fighting for the number 1 seed. The Clippers are currently sitting at the 4th seed, the Mavericks at the 5th seed, and the Pelicans at the 6th seed, with the Kings, Suns, Lakers, and Warriors all fighting in the play-in tournament, the Warriors being the last team to get in. The Rockets are currently sitting on the outside looking in, while the Jazz, Grizzlies, Trailblazers, and Spurs are all but eliminated. So that's where the NBA stands right now. I hope you're satiated by that, Yoni.
That was horrible. Why do we ever listen to Yoni?
I don't know why. But listen, I don't know why we talk about the NBA. We really should.
Why would we talk about an irrelevant sport when we can talk about things like NASCAR and baseball?
All right.
Yoni doesn't have a point whatsoever. Why would we talk about one of the best sports in America when we can talk about cars going really fast on I-95?
We don't
I'm sorry, the Indianapolis Speedway, whatever it is.
All right. Well, you're getting
I'm a hater.
you're getting put in the corner for a bit. That asshole.
Hey, wait.
All right, you're back. I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. And listen, we talked about the NBA before. I made it clear I don't really like watching the NBA because of the lack of defense and all that. But I'm still paying attention, so vaguely. Paying more attention to it than hockey, which is I should be paying more attention to hockey.
We can't cover every sport.
Yeah, we can't.
Same. Agreed, Milan.
You still being attacked by a 1-year-old, Calvin?
I was, so that's why I disappeared for a second there.
That's all good, man.
Being bullied.
With that being said, I do want, if we're going to talk basketball, we should at least talk about this one thing, and that is that March Madness. Currently, the Final Four have been set. Pull them up real quick. So, for your men's Final Four, which by the way, isn't even the top option when you Google it. There's a reason for that. We'll get into it. Your men's Final Four for Saturday, it'll be NC State versus Purdue and Alabama versus UConn. In the women's Final Four, it'll be NC State versus South Carolina and UConn versus Iowa. So congrats to both the Wolfpack and the Huskies for getting both of their teams into the Final Four. But where do we start here with the Final Four, this March Madness? Because we did have, I think a good place to start actually, NC State in the men's tournament as an 11th seed getting to the Final Four. That is, I think that's tied with Syracuse from like 10 years ago for the lowest seed to ever make it to the Final Four. One of the lowest.
Yeah, DJ Burns is, looked pretty good in this tournament here. He's definitely raised his draft stock and made a name for himself. So shout out to NC State for that. Purple, yes.
Very purple. Yeah, NC State has been looking good. There's actually I need to adjust that. There have been 6 cases of an 11 seed getting to the Final Four. The most recent one was UCLA in 2021, which I completely forgot that they were an 11 seed. That's weird. But looking at the men's tournament Final Four, like last week, I want to get y'all's opinions on who you think is going to win. So NC State and Purdue is the first game. Of course, I mentioned DJ Burns, who has been the breakout star of this tournament, going up against Purdue. You have Zach Edey, all 7 foot, whatever height, 7'11", I think he is, versus the Cinderella story of the tournament. What are we taking for this one?
Yes, baby, pink. I'm not living up to the Zach Edey hype, so I'm gonna go the other way on this one.
I like it. I keep waiting for Purdue to do their usual Purdue thing and fall apart.
Yeah,
they haven't. They keep proving me wrong. And it's weird because Purdue is like every year Purdue is supposed to lose to some school you've never heard of in the most embarrassing way possible. I will say. I don't know, because NC State isn't like a nobody school you've never heard of. Everyone knows where NC State is.
Where's NC State?
I don't know. Where is NC State? No,
North Dakota.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. But I'll say this: I think
no, don't eat it.
The last time a 1 seed lost to a 16 seed, which is what happened to Purdue last year, it was Virginia losing to UMBC, and they came back and won. They came back and won the whole thing the very next year. I honestly could see history repeating itself. Yeah, I know. I could see history repeating itself with Purdue getting the upset on NC State.
You think Purdue's going to go all the way? Isn't that?
Because Virginia did it after Virginia did. So Purdue, when Virginia lost to a 16 seed, when they lost to UMBC, the very next year Virginia went all the way.
But that was Virginia.
Yeah, and it could be the same thing. Purdue could follow the same thing. Being the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, getting knocked out by a 16 seed, coming back the next year, making the Final Four. So if history repeats itself, they could. But this NC State team has got so much hype behind it. A Cinderella team, a double-digit seed. An 11 seed's made it to the Final Four before, but has never won the Final Four, which is definitely something that NC State would love to be the first team to do. Plus, NC State has history when it comes to this tournament. Everyone's seen, the Jimmy V footage of Jimmy V of NC State getting the game-winning dunk over Houston, and their coach running around looking for somebody to hug, and him giving that that "don't give up, don't ever give up" speech. So there is.
Yeah, we're all familiar with that.
Yeah. Are you being serious? No, or like
No, I've never heard of that happening.
Oh my god, this man says he likes sports. Go look up Jim Valvano's 1992 SB speech right now. Like seriously, take 15 minutes. Take 15 minutes, go watch the Jimmy V speech, and we will do the show ourselves.
Damn. All right, fine. Good talk. See you.
Don't actually leave. If you actually leave, wow, he actually left. Oops. Well, that was awkward. Look, in my defense, every person on it, Calvin, you've seen the Jimmy V speech, right? You've seen that, right? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. See, I'm not crazy, right? Milani, you've seen it, right?
Whatever that means.
Even Yoni agrees.
It's not surprising.
That's the most emotional speech I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, don't make fun of it. Yeah, it actually is. Oh
I'm
man.
so educated now that I watched that. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for putting me in time, Isaac. I've really learned the error of my ways.
Hey, can we get a hashtag? Oh wait, no, there's a child here. I can't say that. You know what? I'm just gonna pretend he didn't say that. And move on to our other Final Four game, which is Bama and UConn. Bama, historically not a basketball school, having an insane season, coming through and making the Final Four against the defending champions UConn, who are trying to be the first school to go back-to-back since Florida did it in the mid-2000s. Shout out Joakim Noah. This UConn team is super powered. Everybody thinks that this team is like just is going to repeat. They are stacked. I've seen some pundits even say, "Oh, this might be the best college basketball team since like 2018 Villanova." Which, okay, all right, let's chill with that. But it could be. So, make your picks, gentlemen. Who are you taking, Bama or UConn?
UConn, absolutely UConn, man.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a UConn homer. I just the first tournament I really watched was the one that Kemba won way back in the day. That was the first March Madness I ever was big on. So I've kind of always been a little bit pulling for UConn, and they're not very good all the time. So at least the men's team isn't. So they're not always here, but here they are now against Alabama, which sounds like a very good team, even though they're arguably not. I mean, not basketball like you said, but yeah, I don't know. Go UConn. That's what I'm taking. Got to pull for them.
I think I was the one that actually said Bama was going to upset whatever team they actually played last.
You're right. Yeah, they upset UNC. I was so mad about that. I was like,
I'm so glad they did that.
And I'm gonna go ahead and keep sticking with Bama. I'm gonna roll with the side. And even though UConn's hot, UConn hasn't won a game in this whole tournament by single digits at all. Every win has been by double digits or more. And I get that. That's cool. But Bama is very fast-paced and high-paced. They can keep up with UConn. And I think that Bama can come around with the upset here.
interesting. Okay. Interesting. But let's get to the Final Four that matters, because this is the one that's been pulling in more viewership, which is crazy to say. It's like, wow, it took a while, but we finally got there, guys. The women's Final Four is looking to be probably the first up. Okay, so it is very rare where a sporting event lives up to the hype if it is hyped to hell. You've seen countless examples of a sporting event, getting scheduled, and it was like, oh, this could be the greatest thing ever. This is going to be ridiculous. And if the game happens, it's like, that sucked. What was that? This is not one of those cases, because we hyped up LSU and Iowa in the Elite Eight, and yeah, that lived. Oh, okay. When you have got guys, that's the kind. There's no other way to say it other than that was one of the best basketball games I've ever watched.
It was good.
Was it the best? No, I've seen games that were like they're a lot better games, but it was still up there. It's like that was easily the best women's basketball game I've ever watched, and probably one of the best basketball games in general I've ever watched. That was just
phenomenal game.
That was. Where do you even start with that one? I think when you got people who've never watched women's basketball before tuning in and being like, damn, Caitlin Clark should be drafted by the Pistons. It's like, yes, we've done it, guys. Guys are making delusional takes about women's basketball that are positive. We've done it. It's being treated like every other sport.
There you go.
Finally.
True.
Yeah. No, I think it's just what a great game. Like that's one of those games that's going to go down to the history books. I mean, plus the game right after it, Juju Watkins and USC going up against UConn. That game was awesome too. So
yeah, it's been a good tournament, man. It's been a really good tournament.
It's hard to say. It's wonderful to see women's basketball finally getting the respect that it deserves, and finally getting like the interest that it deserves. You got people. I've seen if you follow sports TikTok, people are starting to dig up footage of like the early tournaments. The early tournaments back like in the Louisiana Tech days, Cheryl Miller at USC, and are like, these girls are hoopers. Why haven't we been paying attention to this? It's like, see, it is good. So, with that being said, we have our Final Four set. NC State, Wolfpack are in the Final Four, just like their men's team. Not as big a Cinderella run because this team is very, very good. They have been good. Going up against undefeated South Carolina. Dawn Staley's squad is fantastic. Battle of the Carolinas, who you guys got? Don't everybody go at once.
Sorry. I was opening a marker. But
was it pink?
It actually was pink.
I'm a fucking savant.
NC State versus South Carolina, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go South Carolina, man. They're just too unstoppable. They just too unstoppable. The resume speaks for itself.
NC State.
You gonna pull the upset?
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Watch it happen. It's gonna happen for sure.
There was last two games, South Carolina looked mortal against Oregon State and Indiana.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Exactly why I picked the upset. For that exact reason. Not just because Florida said one thing and I want to say the other. But that exact reason.
They definitely can be beat, but I think the team that probably had the best chance of beating them just lost to Iowa the other day.
That's a good point. That is probably also a good point.
I don't know, man, because I don't know if LSU had won and gotten in there. I don't know because I know it's Caitlin Clark, but they kind of turned Haley Van Lith into burnt toast.
Nah, I'll be honest though. After Angel Reese got injured, that's when the whole entire momentum changed for LSU. Because before that, she was hustling back on defense. She was,
cooking.
Yeah, just absolutely cooking. Her and Caitlin Clark were going back and forth at a point in time. But then as soon as she got re-injured that ankle, you could see the difference in her game. She wasn't hustling as much.
Yeah.
Definitely a great game, though. Shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. She's a killer.
Those two are unbelievable.
Angel Reese is time at LSU. People
I like Flage better than Angel Reese. I think Flage is a hooper.
Flage was doing great. Yeah. I was disappointed with Haley Van Lith because I really thought that she was gonna do good, but then you realize she's guarding Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, they set her up, man. They should have had Flage or bring a double team or something. They just had her out there guarding her one-on-one, and that was just asking for disaster.
When on the first play of the game, Caitlin hit a three right in Haley's face. I was like, "Oh, they're cooked."
Yeah, I was like,
"What are they doing? What are they doing?" What are they doing? I don't know, because the thing is though, circling back, because the problem with South Carolina is that they got those two massive girls. They got Camila Cardozo, Chloe Kitts, those two, they're taller than me. I'm like, you're gonna. That's the problem. Cardozo is expected to go top 5 in the WNBA draft. Whoever, I don't know if NC State's got anyone big enough to guard her. I don't know if any of the other teams have anyone big enough to guard her. And speaking of the other teams, though, this is the game I think that everyone's going to be watching on Friday night. Ooh, this game's going to be fun. UConn and Iowa. You thought Iowa and LSU was awesome. This is another game that might live up to the hype because, where do we start? Caitlin Clark in Iowa. By the way, Iowa's got a lot of other good shooters too. What's her name? Marshall Martin. Forgetting their first names because they keep getting overshadowed by Caitlin Clark. But going up against Paige Beckers, who's probably the best hooper in the entire tournament, and UConn. Let me hear your picks, gentlemen.
So
money's counting. But I actually said it probably was last week on this podcast. I said we didn't start hearing Caitlin Clark's name until Paige Beckers got injured. So I'm gonna run with the OG. I'm gonna go Paige Beckers, and I think Paige Beckers wins this duel and outduels Caitlin Clark in Iowa.
I would agree, if not for one thing that I learned just before we went live. I was thinking it's UConn. It's women's UConn. You got to go with women's UConn. Doesn't matter. Death taxes women's UConn, right?
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, don't know who else is existing women's econ. But then, Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark, and I heard that she wanted to go to UConn, but she actually never received an offer. And I was like, this is gonna be a Kobe game. Doesn't matter. Put up 100.
Oh no!
Yeah, because you're growing up with basketball, you want to go to UConn and everything, and she was excited. She was hoping that to happen, and they never. She apparently never got an offer from them or something like that. So if that does, if she gets hot because of that, I don't know. I mean,
but then we also could see the side of this is why UConn didn't give her a phone call.
She's better than half their team at the least half their team. So they should have either one way or another.
Even if even if UConn shuts down Caitlin Clark, because over the course of the season, a couple of teams showed you can do that. I think there was a game I was watching where Ohio State showed if you shut her down, Iowa still's got options. They've got, because I had to look up their roster to get the names right because I forgot. But Gabby Marshall, Kate Martin are both shooters, and their forward Hannah Stolke. If you get her to the inside, she is tough. She is tough to stop in the paint. So Iowa's got options. UConn, see, the thing is, though,
I gotta go Iowa.
Every game I've watched with UConn, Paige Beckers has been unbelievable.
Yeah,
they've got so many good players.
And they are UConn.
I know, Nikki Mule, Aaliyah Edwards. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Iowa just because I feel like Caitlin's gonna get hot, and then she's just gonna be unbeatable again.
All right. Well, that being said, let's move on to football and talk about the big trade in the NFL. Stefon Diggs going to the Texans. Oh my goodness. If you looked at the description of this episode, it said Texans are going to win the Super Bowl at this point, aren't they? Say it ain't so, please, for the love of God, don't let it happen. But
it ain't so. But that is. They are going to be so dangerous. The Texans are going to be so unbelievably dangerous. They've already had a tremendous offseason already. We'll see how they do in the draft, but their free agency period has probably been the best overall, just because it's the signings, and if you include this trade, I mean, Jesus H. If they nail the draft, they are going to be the hottest team to come into the year.
They just got a very talented all-pro wide receiver for a piece of cheese. And like Noam said, they have had a phenomenal offseason. Adding that with this trade, and I'm not sure how many draft picks they have, but if they can draft correctly, yeah, I'm going to agree with Noam. On paper, they probably are the hottest team in football right now. They have potentially 3 number 1 wide receivers on that team. I mean, you can't really count Tank Dell's a number 1 wide receiver because of his height, but talent-wise, you can count him as a number 1 wide receiver.
He's good, man. He's real good. Collins is real good. And they got Stefon Diggs, who is undoubtedly a number 1.
Yeah, so, CJ Stroud has been set up for success.
Absolutely. This does make me wonder, though, because I mean, Buffalo. Last year we didn't really. I don't know if we really discussed on it
now,
because
before you go any further, now y'all see the real Josh Allen.
All right, we'll see. All right, calm down.
All right, chill.
We'll see.
Chill. Here we.
All right.
Oh God, it's back.
Now we'll see the real Josh Allen that I've been telling y'all for years.
Help!
No, baby, I told you.
All pro level though. But here's my thinking though. Buffalo, right? They've lost a ton of players. Now they've lost Stefon Diggs. 40 might be right. Maybe we do see the real Josh Allen, or what I'm wondering about is this. We didn't really touch on this over the course of the season, really, but there was a lot of online chatter at the very least about Stefon Diggs in Buffalo and how happy he is there and stuff like that. I don't really think we really talked about it because it kind of looked like it was all a little bit unsourced at the very least. It's just you can never really take this stuff entirely seriously if it's not coming from within the locker room. But considering what they had to do to get Diggs out, considering the cap hit that they just took to move him, and what they got for him, which is not what he's worth by any stretch of the imaginations. Oh man, like there was definitely something. There was definitely something. They wanted him out of the building for sure. Right, like it can't just be me. They wanted Diggs out of the building for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He just hadn't been happy. It seems he just was not happy at all, and the dam finally broke. And the fact they're willing to get, what did they give him up for? Like a second round or first round pick?
Second rounder for next year.
Yeah, it's wild. Here's my thing. Baltimore, why did you not send a first round pick over? Send your first round, give a fuck. Send your first round pick over. Get Stefon Diggs. You don't have any more receiver questions ever again. The Bills are gonna pay him to play for you. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You know, it's like you don't gotta pay him much.
We got dogs barking. We got babies crying. We got everything on today's episode.
Is that your dog? Or your
No, I
roommate's
think
dog?
was that you, 40?
Yeah.
Let me go.
Is
So
that the
good,
dog's
man.
name is Maloney?
That's crazy, man. I remember when Milani first came on the podcast, and she was like this big.
And now she's walking around just terrorizing
Crazy.
people.
That's
Welcome
crazy.
Welcome to the terrible twos, buddy.
Welcome to the
Yeah, I'm
Apple
almost
Farm.
there. Should be 2 in June.
Hey, man. Don't worry, man. You got it. You got it, man. You'll be fine. Yeah, just got to get through it, man. You'll be fine. If anyone else have any comments on free agency, I actually do have a question, and that is, who's won free agency so far? Which team
Texans.
biggest winners
Washington.
outside of the
Besides
Texans?
Texans, Washington, we have signed 24 free agents, and
And
they're
I
all impactful to positions that were needed.
I do want to give it to Washington. I think you could very easily could. I'm not going to argue against it. They have had a good one. To me, a lot of Washington signings are pretty sporadic and could be very hit or miss. There's some of them I love so much though. So even when it's like they've had so many signings and I like enough of them for me to say that they've won just on those alone. But I'm not going to say that I love all their signings. The Bears. Who's saying Bears? What?
Somebody say the Bears.
Yeah, it's this Jonathan guy. He keeps showing up.
I like Bears. Bears is a good option.
Yeah, they did do the smart thing and get rid of Justin Fields, so maybe they did win. Just kidding.
Now another question is, who has been the loser of free agency so
The
far?
Cowboys.
Broncos,
Yeah,
Cowboys. Oh, no, he's right. He's right. Cowboys.
Yeah,
Cowboys.
Cowboys have made like no moves.
Cowboys have done nothing, and I love it.
Yeah, it's a little funny. And apparently there's trouble in paradise with Dak anyways, so we'll see how that all goes.
Dude, there was like
part about Dallas is Derrick Henry said he literally wanted to go to Dallas, and they never made an offer.
my God.
Derrick Henry's just Zeke, but good.
Oh man, the day that the Cowboys empire finally crumbles.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
been
see.
it's been crumbling
The
for over 30
empire
years.
that
It's been
with
crumbling
0
for
wins?
35 years, but
Yeah. That's funny.
hey man, listen. I will say this though. I saw a report from Awful Announcing where they were all like, FS1 mentioned Dak Prescott over 100 times last week. There had like 100 different stories. Well, they mentioned Caitlin Clark twice. I had some people complain about that. I was like, they don't got the rights to college basketball. You realize like the way these media companies works is that if they don't have the rights to it, they will not talk about it. That's why you don't see a lot of
So what do we have the rights to?
us.
Yeah, what do we have the rights to? Because we talk about a whole lot of stuff. Are they unable to do the same thing?
We don't have
Genuine
the right.
question. I have no idea how it works.
I assume that's how it works, because there's a reason why certain sports don't get covered by ESPN as much, even though they say they're the worldwide leader. When it's literally just.
Man, this feels like it's just saltiness because they don't cover NASCAR.
Well, I mean they don't, but I don't like have a huge problem with that because
Okay.
ESPN, ESPN should stay away from NASCAR. That's a rant I
Agreed.
could go into, but I won't go into for the sake of the show. I'll just say that the last time they tried covering the sport, it did not go well. So that's all I'll say. Don't knock us off the air in the middle of the race for like a Division II women's basketball game. No offense. It's just like, come on, bro. But anyway, with that being said, MLB Week 1 is almost in the bag. There's a couple games that are finishing up. Yankees.
It's been such a good week. Oh my god.
I'm gonna quiz you, Gnome, see if you actually would pay attention.
Sure, I have. I've been really just. Go ahead, quiz me. Pull my answer sheet.
Oh my god! All right. Well,
I've been paying so much attention. Don't even worry about it.
I guess we'll start with the standings after Week 1. This subject to change, obviously, because there still are a few games going on right now, including Yankees Diamondbacks, which is still in extras, and we can't fucking every time we pull ahead, the Diamondbacks keep coming back. It's
You guys
almost
are like the best team in the league right now. Chill out.
I know we got our first loss last night, and that pissed me off. Anyway, here's the standings. So let's go around the league. In the American League East, the Yankees off to a 5-0 start, their best start since 1992. They did lose their first game of the season last night to the Diamondbacks, but it's okay. The team looks phenomenal, with the breakout star being Oswaldo Cabrera, who was supposed to be a utility guy for us and has now been moved up to our starting third baseman because he's actually doing really well. Boston's off to a good start after everyone expected them to be kind of shitty. They're sitting second.
Don't fix themselves. Don't worry.
Yeah. They will. The Orioles looking solid so far at 3-2. They came out of the gate swinging over 20 runs in their first 2 games, but kind of mellowed out a bit.
They cooled off real quick.
Oh yeah. Toronto is off to a difficult start and have been complaining about their schedule, which, that's typical. And the Rays are off to a rough start too at 3-4. That being said, the whole division, it's the AL East. Everyone's going to be close. Everyone's going to be fighting for it. It's just that the Yankees look really, really good. And I don't want to say anything. I don't want to jinx us because we're fighting the Diamondbacks in extras right now, and it's pissing me off. But
it's crazy. You guys can't even beat the Diamondbacks.
Shut up. Shut up. We beat the crap out of them on Monday night. Shut up.
Yeah, you're going to win this game. Don't even worry about it.
We better.
Bad goes 6-2 or 6-1, whatever it is.
Be better. Over in the AL Central, Detroit is off to an impressive 4-0 start. No one expected that.
I did. I called it. What are you talking about? I literally said that on like 2 weeks ago. I said that. I said they would start 6-0, and they will.
I don't recall you saying that, and I want that fact checked. But I guess.
All right, I'll fact check for you. I'm lying. I didn't say that. I have no idea. What team is it? What's the Detroit team? Is it the Lions?
The Tigers. The Tigers. Yeah, they have a Lions and a Tigers. Now they just need a Bears, and they'll be set.
There's already a Bears. They can't have that one.
Yeah,
and Chicago has a nice Bears and Cubs thing going on there. That's a little nice too.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah, they do. They do. And if I'm not mistaken, they sometimes use bear imagery in the White Sox. So
meanwhile, Cleveland had the Indians and the Browns, so maybe switching to the Guardians was a good choice.
Yeah, that was not the best. 40, you still with? I thought. Oh, okay, you are. I thought you were frozen for a second. I thought you were frozen. All right. I was just checking. I looked up. I looked up from the standings page and I saw like you weren't moving. I was like, "Uh-oh, do we have a technical difficulty?"
How about those White Sox though?
Oh, the White Sox 1-4, horrible, worse than ever. No one showing up to their games. Their stadium looking like a ghost town. Oh man,
they look like they're like the worst team since this year's Marlins.
We'll get to them. Yeah, White Sox currently sit at the back. Kansas City. I made the prediction that Kansas City would be the division winners, and while they have looked solid so far, especially Bobby Witt Jr., they are 2-3, just royal stuff. Minnesota and Cleveland are also doing their thing. I don't know, man. It's the AL Central. No one gives a shit about this division. None of these teams are gonna matter come playoff time. And the only team that everyone cares about is the Tigers because of their legacy of failure. So that's the take on them. Over in the AL, I was wondering what you're doing. Is your car? What did you say? Your cat?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my. She got my wire.
Oh no. Over in the AL West, the Texas Rangers and the Angels are tied for first. That is subject to change because it is the Angels. Mariners are doing their usual Mariner things, 3-4 to start the season off. The big surprise has been the Astros, who got swept by the Yankees in their opening series. They did win their 5th game of the season and did so with a no-hitter, the first of the year. But also, they look like shit. Like their bullpen got torched by the Yankees, and it's not looking good. So that's the situation with Houston. That other team in that division, the Oakland Athletics, are 1-6, horrible. Barely 3,000 fans showing up for their events, and somebody leaked a pamphlet given out to concessions workers who said that if anybody is wearing anti-ownership, what is it called? Anti-ownership wristbands that are being given out by outside vendors. Oh crap! Hang on. The Yankees might have just. Oh crap,
Won
Clay!
the
Look at
game.
that! Look at that, guys! The Yankees just loaded the bases. They didn't actually. One guy scored. Shit! Can't get this final out. I swear to God. No, the Athletics. Somebody leaked a piece of paper that was given out to concessions workers at the Oakland Coliseum that said, if you see anybody wearing merchandise that is critical of ownership, or anybody talking about the move, or anybody talking about Oakland, the city that they're playing in, you are to ask security to have them thrown out or something along that. Keep in mind,
Yeah.
the A's ownership have basically told people working at the stadium, if anybody says, avoid saying the name of the team because we're trying to move to Vegas. Keep in mind, the mayor of Las Vegas say they don't want the A's coming. They don't want the A's coming because it'll rip away. Uh, because they don't really need a baseball team at this point. They'd like to have one, but the A's have so much history in Oakland. It's a hot mess. I've never seen a situation as bad as it is for the A's, and it's not going to get much better. So,
What are they, 1-6? Something like that.
Trash organization. Hopefully, one day we see better for those guys.
Yeah, I feel like the players and the fans deserve better.
uh-oh. I
Rest
think we lost 40.
He will be missed.
Oh no. The
He
technical
got
issues.
silenced. They kicked him out of the stadium. You said something negative about the A's.
Dude,
kicked him out.
they have been doing that because somebody said, so there is an Oakland clothing brand that has been releasing anti-ownership clothing. That's kind of what was referenced. And 40 says his computer died. Rest in peace, 40. No, so there's an Oakland, I forgot the name of it, but it's an Oakland-based clothing brand that has been creating anti-ownership stuff, including wristbands. And some of those wristbands, a handful of players for the A's actually were wearing. All 4 players who were wearing those wristbands got featured by this clothing brand's social media. All 4 of them are no longer with the A's. They have been released or traded or cut in the last week or something. Like, I've never seen a group of owners get this serious.
Yeah, they have egos. You need to stop that, bro. for real, man.
Kylie did this all the time. You got to relax. Let's go.
No, she sucks too, though.
It's okay, but my team is better than her, so I can do it. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Though, like, what am I supposed to be doing here when you're like, oh, stop? When you stop yourself, like
You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be all upset and being like, stop that. I did the same thing.
Haram. Oh, I'm sorry, Kitty. I almost killed her. It's okay.
What is your cat doing? What is she even doing?
She gets. So you remember how Josh was over that one time, and he tried to pet her, and I could tell she was getting like antsy because she gets like very excited when you pet her, and sometimes has a tendency to love bite. And I tried to warn him, like, hey, like you should probably like step back a little bit because she looks like she's gonna like. The next time you reach your hand out, she's gonna like nibble it. And he's like, yeah, okay, I didn't listen, and then she like nibbled on his dick or something like that. Or, like, she tried to like bite him in the crotch or something like that just because it was close, and he was like, ow. Or something like she like tried to claw him or something like that. And I like went and like I warned him. She's doing that to me right now. She's just like she's being petted and she's purring like crazy, but she's so excited that like if I move my hand around in front of her like this.
I can't see what she's doing.
Hi, you see it all? No.
Oh, a little bit. There she is. Just poking her little head up there like hi.
If I can,
I see a void. I see. Oh, there she is. That's JC Penny, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Okay. Hey, yeah, cool. This one cat. Ah! Photogenic cat. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Oh.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
I know. Of all the cats of all time, she is one of them.
She is. We had Kylie's cat Jenny was on the show a
That
couple of
is
times.
not a cat. I'm sorry.
You got
That
a
is
problem
not
with
a cat.
Jenny? We had
I
a
don't got
Jenny
a problem.
cam.
I babysit that Jenny and I feed her. I don't have any problem with her. All I'm saying is that it's objectively not a cat. That is a system raccoon. That is not a cat.
What the fuck?
It's a system
Jenny,
raccoon.
we had you can't say it. Jenny had her own camera for the show for a couple episodes. The Jenny cam episodes. Those were a real thing.
Well, how far do they have to zoom out?
Nothing. We had to zoom in. She was curled up next to Kylie. We just had the Jenny cam because she kept doing cute cat things because she's a cat.
What?
Objectively.
Like sitting there and rolling over because that is the only thing that cat can do. That cat is the definition of how like we didn't like domesticate cats. They kind of domesticate themselves. We domesticated one cat and it's Jenny. She cannot do anything that normal cats can do. She just exists. She just shouldn't do any cat things. Like think about this. If you try to attack a cat, if you say you're a predator and you try and attack, that cat has one option, and that is to be prey, roll over and die. That cat is enormous. She cannot move. She's like Big Vince if Big Vince was not an athlete.
This is uncalled for, man. I'm just saying, like I personally have never had a problem. Which it's like that Norman Rockwell painting, like freedom of speech with the guy standing up. It's like, I personally never had a problem with Jenny and think she's a cat.
I will accept an argument that she could theoretically once upon a time was a cat. Now she's a pile.
Hold on. No, wait.
You
I
tell
don't know
her.
if this will show. This is you. This is you right
Aw.
now. This is you. Uh-oh.
System raccoon. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever. Anyway, back to baseball.
Okay, just a cat.
I don't know. I just texted Kylie and told her to get in the comments and get on your ass about that. So, and you know what Kylie will do if she's upset? She'll unleash her hordes of Philly fans on you. By the way, shout out to Fired Up Sports. We love you guys and all Philadelphia sports teams.
Yeah, it's a shame what's happened with y'all being behind the Braves after Wood Week.
Yeah. No, the bosses are listening. We can't say that, man. Like, man.
I'm just offering my condolences. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, there's always next year. That's all I'm saying. You guys might be able to do something in the playoffs after you get in. If you squeak in again, maybe this time you'll finish the job in the World Series. Who knows? All I'm saying is runner up to the division, runner up to the World Series. When's the last time they won, Isaac? Remind me.
2008 was the last time they won.
And Kylie's cat is not a real cat. There you go. Finish it with that.
No, watch, Gnome's going to be knocked off the air now because of that.
You can't cancel me. You can't cancel.
Ah, shit. I'm the only one here now. Well, they got him. Let this be a lesson, folks. Don't bad talk. He did get canceled. So what we've learned today, everybody, is don't bad talk or trash talk the Oakland Athletics, or else they'll get you. And don't bad talk Philadelphia, because they'll get you too. You have been uncanceled, my friend. Welcome back. How was your rehabilitation and your how was your rehabilitation?
There is no war in Philadelphia.
But anyway, seriously, speaking of the NL East, Braves off to a good start, 3-2, leading the Phillies.
Oh yeah, you don't say. So what position are the Braves in the division?
Leading the division. You want me to say it again?
Oh, is that right? I see.
Okay, let's slow down there, buddy, because the other division leaders are either undefeated or better than you. So
I know
slow your roll.
It's not a great division start, to be honest, for us.
It really isn't. The NL East is looking trash this year.
Yeah.
Atlanta and Philly might be the only teams worth a damn, and Philly got off to a really slow start. They're starting to get back onto the groove, but they got Bryce Harper had a grand slam last night. It's like, whew, mama, there go that man. But that was a rough one. Washington is trash. Calvin's not here, so we can say this: the Mets fucking suck.
They're so bad.
The Mets are horrible looking, and
every
the
team
Marlins
is losing record in that division except the Braves.
And the Marlins, who the Yankees play coming up, are the worst team
The
in the
best
league.
team. They're the only perfect team so far, aside from there's a couple perfect teams, but they have the most games and they're still perfect.
They and the Mets are the only teams who haven't lost yet. They've lost 7 straight. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. The Comets are loving you right now, Noam. Good stuff.
I
Over in
don't
the NL
blame them.
Central, the Pittsburgh Pirates off to a 5-0 start. I'm not getting my hopes up. Because Pittsburgh did this last year. They got off to an insane start and then they completely fell off a cliff. I am happy that they're undefeated and
Why?
looking. Well, I mean, okay, it is nice to see a struggling team like an organization like the Pirates be the number 1 team of the league.
Is it?
Yeah, because it gives it's nice. Their fans need a little
Death.
What?
Need a little put to death.
Pirates fans would agree with you on that. That's the thing. It's the Pirates. They haven't done shit since the 90s.
I vibe with Pirates.
Whatever.
I vibe with Pirates. Hey, I get y'all. I also hate Pittsburgh, man.
Fair enough. Milwaukee is currently sitting second in the division, 4-1. Their little purchase from the what was it? Their little purchase of Rhys Hoskins from the Phillies has worked out very well for them. I know Phillies.
To be honest though, I don't think that's gonna last. I feel like they're gonna fall off. Come back to them in 2 weeks. I feel like they're gonna be completely 500.
You know what's crazy? I said that shit on last week's episode. I said that I thought the Brewers would take a step back. The team I picked to win the division is the Cubs, and they're currently warring out with the Reds, who 40 picked to win the division for like the middle ground. They both look really good too. The Cubs just thrashed, or have been thrashing their opponents.
A strong division for sure.
It is. Even St. Louis, who's kind of meh, they're probably going to be strong too. So that's going to probably be like the division to watch this year, the NL Central, which is nice. No was actually early for once, and I don't like how you talk about him. We're being positive in the comments today.
Oh, V-Concert, yay. That's my favorite guy. I like how he says things like, Noam isn't late for once. That's the most PG thing I think of him.
So I'm looking at the analytics right now, and this is currently our most viewed episode.
It's because I'm back.
It's that Gnome effect, baby.
Yeah.
We can't ever you can never miss the show again, okay?
It's because there's a cat here. It's because there's a cat in my lap.
Yeah. You want to show the people who just joined the cat?
What's that?
That is adorable. See, okay, but once again, we had a cam like this for Kylie's cat Jenny when she was on the show, and you're gonna really say that she wasn't a cat?
Yeah, she wasn't. Like I said, Jenny is a system raccoon. This is an actual cat.
All right. Well, Gnome pets his cat.
Wrapping
up baseball week.
Look at her little feet. So cute.
They are really cute. Like, my goodness. Wrapping up our episode though. NL West, Dodgers living up to the hype as expected, 6-2, looking like a juggernaut. Diamondbacks got off to a really good start and then ran into the Yankees. Just putting that out there. Padres, Giants, kind of looking meh, and the Rockies have been getting their shit kicked in every day, so not much to expect there. We used to do this with Kylie, but I'll bring it back. So we used to look at who's leading the stats. Current leading the way in batting average is Anthony Volpe for the Yankees, batting .529. Let's go. Home runs, Mookie Betts with 5 in the first week for the Dodgers.
Why did the Red Sox get rid of him?
I don't know why the Red Sox got rid of him. They just decided they were tired of being good. He's also leading the league in RBIs with 11 and hits with 15. So Mookie Betts is currently the front runner for National League MVP 1 week into the season. But it's a long season. It's a long way to go. But right now it's looking like Betts might be having one of those kind of seasons. Leader in stolen bases is a 2-way tie between Jarren Duran of the Red Sox and Bryce Terang of the Brewers with 6 each. In terms of pitchers, the leader in wins, well, there's a whole bunch of them. So
Wins are not a QB stat.
They are a pitching stat, though.
I know.
I'm not even going to say the pitching ones because there's so many ties. Shane Bieber is currently listed at the top for most wins with 2, but he shares that with a bunch of other pitchers. Shelby Miller for the Tigers has the best earned run average of 0.00, but he shares that with a bunch of guys too. We do have a leader in saves, Clay Holmes of the Yankees with 3, along with Evan Phillips of the Dodgers and Abner Uribe of the Brewers with 3 each. Shane Bieber leads with strikeouts with 20, and quality starts is a bunch of guys are tied with 2, but leading the way at the top of what they've ranked as the top is Nathan Eovaldi of the Rangers. So, fun first week. A lot of fun stuff in baseball. Unfortunately, it looks like Calvin will not be able to rejoin the show as it's not letting him back in. That is frustrating.
Okay, we dropped 40. We got J.C. Penney.
It's okay. We have a temporary replacement. But that is where we're going to wrap up today's episode, everybody. I want to thank you guys so much. I believe this was the most viewed episode we've had.
Sorry, go ahead, guys.
Stop making your cat say things like that.
Saying 40 things. She's got to replace 40. Here, come on. Look, say Josh Allen sucks.
He's not a Phillies fan, but keep going.
Look at this cat. He's so cute.
What the hell? What the? Hold on.
He's so cute.
Hold on. Oh, nope. Oh, nope.
Ah, he's destroyed me. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh,
We zoomed in. There we go. Look at her. Oh my goodness.
Here, quick, look to the camera and say, Josh Allen sucks. Now y'all will see the real Josh Allen. She's camera shy.
All right. Well, with that being said, guys, we are going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I think this is the most viewed episode we've had yet, according to the analytics I'm getting, which is awesome.
Thanks, guys, for all your support. Appreciate you showing up to see my cat.
Yeah.
So great.
As always, our podcast is a proud affiliate of the Fired Up Sports Network. Go check out all their other podcasts.
Phillies.
Yeah, all the Philadelphia stuff. We totally love them.
Yeah,
really, we really do. They know where we live. You can follow us on all of our socials at @bbsports_pod. Check out our Twitter bio for merch. I'm still not going to call it X. You can kiss my ass if you think I'm going to call it that. Who's playing bingo? I don't want to play bingo. Okay, maybe. But that being said, we'll see you guys next week. We will announce the time later. We appreciate your flexibility with the iffy times because we've been trying to change things up. But don't worry, we will find a select time eventually. We will get that straightened away. Hell yeah, bro. I'm down. Let's do it. But yeah, in the meantime, we will see you guys next week for the next edition of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. Good night, everybody. Have a good one, and go Yankees.